welcome back to Common Sense Living Podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you join me once again on my exciting journey of thought-provoking conversations and inspiration to inspire you. But first, a big shout out to one of my sponsors, Taming Diabetes Differently, because if you always do it the way the medical system says, you'll always have it, and you know what the results are from that. So it's a 2-month program designed for you to take charge of your health with monthly coaching also available. So let's whip those blood sugar numbers into a healthy range. I invite you to email me, LeMaster, at tamingdiabetes@yahoo.com. Are you ready? I'm your host, LeMaster. Let's get started. So our subjects today are toxins in health, aluminum in foods, skincare mistakes, magnesium, and vitamin D. So did you know that toxins can undermine your skin's vitality and accelerate aging by damaging your collagen? Truth is, toxins, especially those from processed or fried foods, aka junk food, contribute to a buildup of harmful compounds known as advanced glycation end products, or the short for that is AGEs. These AGEs don't just threaten your overall health and severely impact your skin by causing your collagen to stiffen and degrade. As these toxins accumulate, they diminish your collagen levels, resulting in increased skin sagging, wrinkling, and vulnerability to sun damage. What do? We fall for all the external treatments like creams, lotions, oils, many of which are toxic. Rather, we must address outward issues with inside nutrition, organic rather than processed, chemicalized foods. The toxic truth: how environmental pollutants threaten our health. Every second, 683 pounds of toxic chemicals are being dumped into our environment by industrial facilities worldwide. To put that in perspective, it's roughly the weight of a grand piano, and it's growing larger each year. This army of invisible pollutants is invading our lives from air, land, and water, now contributing to a staggering 10 million tons of toxic waste annually, 2 million of which are known carcinogens, toxic. Just how serious is this issue, and how can you protect yourself and your family? Let's dive into the details. The science: why toxins matter. Constant exposure to environmental toxins through inhalation, ingestion, and skin contact leads to bioaccumulation in the body tissues, which can cause serious damage to your health. These toxins are linked to many common diseases, including heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and dementia. Some of them are also known as obesogens, which promote obesity, and autogens, causing autoimmune disease. The insidious nature of these health effects lies in their gradual onset. This makes it difficult to pinpoint a single cause. Often it's the cumulative effect of years of exposure that leads to disease. Young children, pregnant women, and their unborn babies are particularly vulnerable, with exposure leading to all kinds of health problems. How toxins cause health problems, and environmental toxins can wreak havoc on your health through several damaging mechanisms. They cause cellular damage by attacking the DNA, proteins, and cell membranes, leading to tissue and organ damage. Toxins also generate free radicals, triggering oxidative stress, chronic inflammation, and accelerated aging, which increase disease risk. Here's a few examples of how toxins can lead to health issues. Increased cancer risk. Carcinogens like asbestos, benzene, and certain heavy metals cause DNA mutations, leading to uncontrolled cell growth. Pesticides and industrial chemicals increase the risk of cancers like breast cancer, leukemia, and liver cancer. Hormonal disruption. Endocrine disrupting chemicals, the short is EDCs, interfere with hormonal functions, leading to reproductive issues, metabolic disorders, immune deficiencies, and hormone-dependent tumors. These chemicals mimic, enhance, disable, or alter hormonal signals, causing significant health problems. Metabolic and autoimmune conditions. Toxins can trigger immune responses, leading to inflammation and autoimmunity. Conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and multiple sclerosis, MS, are associated with exposure to heavy metals, solvents, and pollutants. Neurological conditions. Toxins affect the nervous system, causing developmental delays, cognitive impairment, ADHD, and autism spectrum disorders. Heavy metals like lead and mercury impair memory, attention, and language skills, contributing to mental health issues later in life. And I have a personal story. If you want to discuss that further, just let me know. Yeah, red dye. The reason toxins are so bad, imagine your body is like a bucket and all the toxins you're exposed to, this is called toxic load, are like water being poured into that bucket. There are many types of toxins we encounter in our everyday lives that can come from all sorts of places. The air you breathe, pollution and smoke, the food you eat, pesticides and additives, the products you use, cleaning supplies, cosmetics. Even stress can be considered a kind of toxin. Now, your body has natural ways of dealing with these toxins. Think of it as having a small drain in the bottom of your bucket. Your liver, kidneys, and other organs work to filter out and get rid of harmful substances. But here's the thing. If too much is being poured in too quickly, your bucket starts to fill up faster than it can drain. This is what we call toxic overload. When your toxic load gets too high, it's like your bucket overflows. This is when you might start to feel unwell or experience various health issues. Your body is essentially saying, whoa, there's too much here for me to handle all at once. The key is to try to reduce the amount of toxins coming in by making healthier choices in what you eat and what products you use, and to support your body's natural detoxification processes through exercise, good sleep, and staying hydrated. Common environmental toxins you need to know about are heavy metals is one. These are among the most harmful environmental toxins, posing serious health risks even at low levels of exposure. They accumulate in the body over time, leading to various chronic health issues. The top 5 worst for your health are lead. I think of water pipes back in the 50s and before. This heavy metal is notorious for its detrimental effects on the nervous system, especially in children. Lead exposure can cause cognitive defects, developmental delays, and behavioral problems. In the recent past, Michigan, I believe it was in the news about toxic lead in their water pipes. Mercury, I think of vaccines found in certain fish, industrial emissions, and dental amalgams. Mercury is highly toxic to the nervous system. It can cause neurological and developmental disorders, impair cognitive function, and damage the kidneys and immune system. Cadmium, commonly found in cigarette smoke, industrial emissions, and contaminated food. Cadmium can cause lung and kidney damage, bone demineralization, and an increased risk of cancer. Arsenic, I think of rat poison. Often present in contaminated water and food, arsenic exposure is associated with skin lesions, cardiovascular diseases, and an increased risk of various cancers. Chronic exposure can lead to severe systemic toxicity and organ damage. Oh, many years ago, a neighbor, when I lived in Iowa, 2 houses up from me, her husband ended up going into a nursing home. 6 months later, he's driving down the street. Come to find out, she'd been poisoning him with arsenic. Needless to say, he recovered. She went to jail. Chromium. While certain forms of chromium are essential nutrients, hexavalent chromium is highly toxic. Found in industrial waste, it can cause respiratory problems, skin reactions, and an increased risk of lung cancer. Phthalates found in plastics, personal care products, and household items are linked to reproductive issues, hormonal imbalances, and increased risk of asthma and allergies in children. And don't we drink everything out of a plastic bottle, whether it's water, energy drinks kind of stuff, all kinds of stuff. Then we have bisphenol A, commonly BPA. I think of plastic again. Used in plastic containers and food linings, BPA affects reproductive systems, disrupts hormones, and causes developmental disorders and cancer. Organophosphates, while widely used in modern farming, are like glyphosate and Roundup, pose serious health risks even at low exposure levels. They can disrupt the endocrine system, accumulate in the body, and potentially cause neurological disorders, cognitive deficits, developmental delays, and increased cancer risk. So when you think you're eating well, and what do? The farming industry. I don't know if it's a farmer exactly or where they take it to the grain bins, but I believe it's a farmer. They spray Roundup on it just prior to harvest because it helps it dry faster. So parabens, preservatives in cosmetics and personal care products, mimic estrogen, leading to hormonal imbalances, breast cancer, and reproductive toxicity. Dioxins, byproducts of industrial processes and waste burning. Dioxins are classified as human carcinogens, causing reproductive and developmental issues, immune system damage, and hormone interference. PFASs, I think of nonstick, found in cookware and water-repellent clothing. PFAs are linked to cancer, hormone disruption, and immune system harm. DDT, a banned pesticide, lingers in the environment, causing cancer, reproductive issues, and endocrine disruption. Oxybenzone, a common sunscreen ingredient. Oxybenzone disrupts hormones and causes allergic reactions, also harming coral reefs. Not just us, but the environment. Synthetic dyes used in foods, drinks, and cosmetics. Synthetic dyes cause hyperactivity in children, allergies, and cancer. I've seen that in my nephew. He stopped it and he excelled. How to detox your life. So first off, reduce the exposure. Now that you are aware, now you take charge and you reduce the exposure. Avoid the plastics, especially those with recycling codes 3, 6, and 7, as they are more likely to contain the EDCs like BPA and phthalates. Choose fresh, organic, and unprocessed foods over canned, packaged, and processed foods that may contain those EDCs like BPA is widely used in producing epoxy resins that line the canned foodstuff to prevent corrosion and preserve the food's taste. Avoid personal care products with fragrances, which can contain phthalates. This includes many scented candles made with paraffin wax. There's a certain store at the mall I walk by. I can't stand it. I have to walk on the other side. It's just so, I don't know how anybody can work in it. It just is, I can smell the toxins. Use glass, stainless steel, or ceramic containers instead of plastic for food storage. Toss out your Teflon, aluminum, copper, or any pans that are peeling at the bottom. Instead, use ceramic-coated, stainless steel, or cast iron pans. Filter tap water to reduce exposure to the EDCs like BPA and other chemicals. Excuse me. Increase detoxification. Eat detoxifying foods every day. I recommend phytonutrient-rich foods like leafy greens, 2 to 3 servings. 1 serving is about 1 cup of raw greens or half a cup of cooked. Berries, 1 to 2 servings. 1 serving is about a half a cup. Cruciferous vegetables, 1 to 2 servings. 1 serving is about 1 cup of raw vegetables or half a cup of cooked veggies. Herbs, a handful of fresh herbs daily or 1 to 2 teaspoons if using dried herbs. Probiotic-rich foods, 1 to 2 servings of foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurt, or kefir. Consider supplements that support your body's natural detox processes like vitamin C, glutathione, and acetylcysteine, which they are trying to ban. It's commonly called NAC, NAC, yeah. So why are they trying to ban that? Well, let me see. Natural detox process, eh? So get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Quality sleep is crucial for supporting your body's natural detox processes, including the removal of toxins from the brain and repair of tissues and cells. Dust and vacuum with a HEPA filter at least twice a week. This reduces exposure to indoor pollutants and allergens. Drink lots of water and, of course, make it be healthy water. I use a Berkey filter. Because I can smell the chemicals in my water. I can taste them. So you drink lots of water to support your kidney function and promote sweating. Aim for at least 15 cups of fluids a day for men and 11.5 cups of fluids a day for women. Sweat regularly to aid in detoxification. That's right. Remove toxins by literally sweating them out. Engage in any exercise that gets you sweating, from jogging and cycling to high-intensity resistance training to a brisk walk in humid weather. If you have the means, incorporate sauna sessions 3 to 4 times a week for about 20 to 30 minutes per session. Infrared saunas are particularly effective as they penetrate deeper into the skin, promoting more thorough detoxification through sweat. Take Epsom salt baths 2 to 3 times a week. For each bath, use about 2 cups of Epsom salt in a standard-sized bathtub filled with warm water. Soak for approximately 20 to 30 minutes to allow the magnesium sulfate to be absorbed through the skin. I like to treat myself on a Sunday afternoon after the weekend of working outside and whatever. And I look at that as a treat, and I add some lavender essential oils to it and listen to something interesting on my phone and just soak for maybe 30 minutes or so. I feel so good afterwards. And then you can dry brush before showering. Use a natural bristle brush to stimulate lymphatic drainage and exfoliate the skin, promoting toxin release. Now, when you do the dry brushing, you start at the bottom. You like your feet, you go up to your chest, and your arms, you'll go up. So everything goes upward towards your chest. So you dry brush this way for the top and this way from the bottom. So these are just some of the regular lifestyle practices and behaviors you can incorporate to fight back against environmental toxins. The key is to adopt a multi-pronged approach that focuses on reducing exposure, supporting your body's natural detoxification processes, and promoting overall health and wellness to mitigate the effects of endocrine disrupting chemicals. And if you want a deeper dive into detoxing, check out my link at www.avinihealth.com/Ann LeMaster LeMaster 8084 and look for Cell Defender. That's www.avinihealth.com/Ann LeMaster 8084. So, and I may get some money if you buy. So just to clarify that. So next we're going to talk about some of the high aluminum foods to avoid. You likely eat food contaminated with aluminum on a regular basis without even realizing it. I wanted to reveal the top foods where you could ingest this brain toxic metal. The article covers top 5 high aluminum foods to avoid, as well as what you can do to avoid further absorption and how to support your body's ability to detox from everyday living. Aluminum can find its way into foods. Oh, and let's see. Can't think of the name right now, but in, I believe, Muscatine, Alcoa, they do aluminum, and a side effect, not a side effect, a byproduct is fluoride. Yes, fluoride, a toxic chemical from waste product of aluminum. And we put that on our teeth. Yay, it's healthy for us? No, it's not. So anyway, I just love telling people tidbits. So anyhow, aluminum can find its way into foods, not only from the food itself, but from how it's prepared. For instance, aluminum in aluminum foil, pots and pans, baking sheets, and other cooking utensils, and it's often the main covering for household appliances, from your refrigerator to your washer and dryer. Food is the #1 source of aluminum exposure. Several common foods and food additives contain aluminum, and most of us absorb aluminum from our diet on a daily basis. Beyond food, there are a number of other routes of exposure and absorption when it comes to aluminum. Most people are also slathering aluminum antiperspirant and deodorant on their underarms every day. Oh yeah, I used to do that. It would stop you from sweating too. But today we're going to focus specifically on high aluminum foods. So symptoms of aluminum toxicity. Aluminum is a toxic metal, and when it makes its way into your body, be it in high aluminum foods, deodorant, or other sources, it can cause serious health problems. Aluminum can be found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients, and aluminum buildup may be a risk factor for many kinds of neurological disease. Several studies have also found that aluminum may even contribute to breast cancer. Aluminum builds up in your body over time, and chronic low-level aluminum exposure can cause less acute health problems. Symptoms of aluminum exposure include, I'll go slow here, brain fog, dementia, fatigue, confusion, muscle weakness, bone pain, bone fractures, slurred speech, slow speech, and other speech problems, slow growth in children, decreased muscle control, and anemia. The top 5 aluminum toxic foods to avoid. to keep yourself safe from aluminum toxicity, it's essential that you cut high aluminum foods out of your diet. So here's the top 5. Processed cheese, including American cheese, is one of the biggest contributors of dietary aluminum. Processed cheeses aren't technically cheese. They don't even melt quite the same as cheese. I kind of think of them as like putting a yellow toxin, yellow plastic. I mean, they're weird. They're technically not cheese. They're made by combining a small amount of real cheese with milk fat, artificial colors and flavors, salt, and sometimes whey protein. Because processed cheeses contain so many different ingredients, they need an emulsifier, a compound that binds them all the ingredients together and keeps them shelf stable. That's why I think of it as kind of plastic. Many processed cheeses, especially in frozen products, are emulsified with sodium aluminum phosphate, which your body breaks down into aluminum and absorbs in small amounts. While you only absorb small amounts of aluminum from processed cheese and other high aluminum foods, the aluminum gradually builds up in your body, nervous system, and brain each time you eat them. Over the course of years, that kind of low-level aluminum exposure can contribute to serious health problems. A 2005 study found that the cheese in a frozen pizza contained about 150 times more aluminum than a fresh pizza bought from a local shop. Let me repeat that. A 2005 study, and this is 2024, almost 10 years later. A 2005 study found that the cheese in a frozen pizza contained about 150 times more aluminum than a fresh pizza bought from a local shop. Are you or someone you know dealing with blood sugar issues like diabetes? You can lower, even reverse these issues. I lowered my A1C from 5.9 to 4.9 in just 6 weeks. My doctor was impressed. I'm a nurse, certified health coach, and educator. Gift yourself or another with this course, Taming Diabetes Differently. Change your life and theirs. Contact LeMaster at tamingdiabetes@yahoo.com or call 972-948-9976 and be sure to leave a message. So if you're going to eat cheese, choose the real thing. Processed cheeses are a major source of aluminum. Packaged baked goods, breads, cakes, muffins, and other pre-made baked goods are another big aluminum source. Many prepackaged baked goods use a commercial version of baking powder to make their dough rise. The commercial baking powder often contains potassium aluminum sulfate, an acidic compound that activates the baking powder and increases its rising activity. Aluminum is also commonly used as an anti-caking agent in flour. This ensures that the flour stays light and fluffy and doesn't clump up. Several studies have found high levels of aluminum in processed baked goods that use aluminum-based baking powder. One study found that the worst offenders were frozen waffles, frozen pancakes, and boxed pancake waffle mixes. And it irritates me that my husband buys the stupid pancake mix when all I have to do is mix it up. But he likes the bought stuff, so I guess he's kind of like hooked on the flavor, if you will. And I wonder why that might be. Think about that. Another study found that many packaged baked goods were high in aluminum, and about 10% contained 7 times the acceptable daily limit of aluminum. Prepackaged pies and sweets were particularly bad. Your best bet is to make baked goods yourself and to check your labels to make sure you're buying aluminum-free baking powder and organic flour. Fortunately, most non-commercial baking powders don't use aluminum. So long as you're baking from scratch, you'll likely be okay. Oh, and this one blows my mind. Tea. Everybody talks about tea, right? Studies have found that both green and black tea leaves contain high levels of aluminum. The studies also found that brewing tea leaves releases aluminum into the tea and makes it more bioavailable, meaning that tea drinking could be an easy route for aluminum absorption. And yet, everything says green tea is so wonderful for you. So, just something for you to check into. Tea was comparable to processed cheese in terms of aluminum content and absorption rate, making it a significant source of dietary aluminum. Researchers have also stated that drinking tea daily could result in a significant amount of aluminum reaching systemic circulation. Aluminum may produce toxicity to the central nervous system as it binds to proteins and can cause cross-linking, damaging their function. People with high levels of aluminum tend to have a high concentration in their brain tissue, which has led some researchers to believe that aluminum may have a role in neurodegenerative diseases. Some neurotoxic effects that have been correlated with aluminum include impaired learning, memory, concentration, as well as disorientation, also known as brain fog. Excuse me. Cacao powder. Cacao trees absorb aluminum, cadmium, and lead from the soil and store them in the cacao beans. When the beans are ground and processed, much of the aluminum ends up in cacao powder. When it comes to heavy metal contamination in cacao powder, the country of origin matters. A 2016 study compared the heavy metal content of cacao samples from 4 of the largest cacao producers in the world: Cameroon, Ecuador, Nigeria, and Ghana. The study found that cacao from Ghana had the largest concentration by far, while Cameroon and Ecuador had the lowest concentrations. When you buy cacao powder, check the label for its country of origin. Try to choose cacao sourced from South America or Cameroon. They have the lowest risk of aluminum contamination. Non-dairy creamer. Single-serving packets of non-dairy creamer are another source of toxic aluminum. Non-dairy creamer packets tend to clump and are also prone to spoilage because they're unrefrigerated. To fix the problem, most manufacturers use sodium aluminum silicate, an anti-caking agent preservative which provides a significant amount of absorbable aluminum per serving. Instead of non-dairy creamers, stick to using real milk, cream, or non-dairy creamers like coconut creamers. And don't forget that antacids are a significant source of dietary aluminum if one consumes these for heartburn on a regular basis. Better to fix the underlying root cause of heartburn, like low stomach acid, dehydration, and food sensitivities are most common, than taking these toxic aluminum bombs. How to maintain your health and support your body's natural detox pathways? Heavy metals tend to hide away in hard-to-reach parts of your body, quietly building up over time. Aluminum accumulates mostly in bone, where it can stay for years or even decades. Aluminum also builds up in your brain and may even put you at risk for cognitive decline and neurodegenerative conditions. Furthermore, studies show that those exposed to high levels of aluminum in drinking water have a greater risk of impaired brain health. And that's why the best thing you can do for your health is to take steps to prevent metal absorption in the first place. And hopefully, this list of high aluminum foods is a good place to help you get started. Blows you away, doesn't it? The stuff that's out there. Excuse me. And I apologize that I read these, but there's so much information that I don't want to misinform or not inform. So it's easier. And if you want sources, I can provide you with sources. They're from medical sources anyway. So I keep seeing something in the back. Whoops. Ooh, what is that? Something in the background right here. I don't know what that is, but it's kind of weird. Anyway, 10 nighttime skincare mistakes you might be making, even you guys. Your skin takes on a lot of stress throughout the day: heat, cold, wind, sun, pollution, etc. As you might imagine, this takes a toll over time and can lead to skin that looks older, duller than you would like, or feels dried out and irritated. The good news is that nighttime is a perfect restorative time for your complexion and helps combat daytime stressors. But that's only true if you aren't sabotaging your efforts to make common skincare mistakes. These mistakes may not seem like a big deal at first glance, but like other bad habits, their effects build up over time and can be detrimental. So, to help you perfect your nightly skincare routine, here's a look at why sleep is so good for your skin and the top mistakes to avoid. Why nighttime can be the best time of day for your skin. Sleep is when your body does a lot of its deep repair work. This includes regenerative activity deep within your skin that helps to keep it healthy and youthful looking. In fact, you've probably noticed that missing out on sleep just a few nights in a row often shows up in your skin as dark circles, puffiness, more noticeable wrinkles, and so on. But to look at it in a positive way, the restorative effects of sleep make evening an ideal time to apply nourishing and rejuvenating ingredients to your skin. They get to work mostly undisturbed all through the night and make the natural repair work your body is already doing even more beneficial. Plus, you're less likely to sweat skincare out during the night, and the ingredients aren't disrupted by UV radiation from the sun or your cell phone. Plus, okay, the bottom line is that a nightly skincare regime can be incredibly effective as long as you avoid some common mistakes. Not getting enough sleep. One of the best things you can do for your complexion at night doesn't involve a single product. It's simply getting the recommended 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. If you read the section above, like I did, you already know that sleep is a time of important repair work for your skin. Losing a few nights' sleep can show up in your skin right away, but the biggest damage happens over time. Research has shown that sleep deprivation actually increases signs of skin aging. This means more fine lines and pigmentation, dark spots, as well as reduced elasticity. Plus, lack of sleep is also linked to reduced skin barrier function, which means your skin is more likely to dry out and is more susceptible to external stressors. All that to say, you should take your beauty rest seriously, and perhaps avoid shoving your face into your pillow at night, because this can also contribute to wrinkles and facial lines. Not removing your makeup completely. If you're ready to fall into bed after a long day, it can be tempting to quickly swipe at your makeup and call it good enough. And while this is better than not removing your makeup at all, it's still problematic for your skin. Even though you can't see it, makeup leaves a residue behind if it isn't thoroughly cleaned off. This residue can clog your pores and or cause dead skin cells to build up. Over time, you'll probably notice more breakouts or simply dull, lifeless looking skin. Even though it might take you an extra minute or two, be sure to get all your makeup off your skin before heading to bed. This goes for eye makeup too, because the skin around your eyes is especially sensitive to irritation. Not cleaning your face or using the wrong cleanser, whether you wear makeup or not, cleansing your face at night is key to getting rid of dirt, debris, and dead skin cells that have accumulated during the day. In fact, one of the most common skincare mistakes is thinking that morning is the best time to cleanse, even though dirt, etc., doesn't build up much overnight. Make a note here that cleansing evening and morning is best for some skin types. Once a day at night is fine for others. Just as important as cleansing your skin at night is using the right cleanser. Many cleansers are stripping, meaning they get rid of healthy natural oils that your skin needs. This can lead to dryness and irritation over time, and some studies have shown that common soap chemicals even weaken skin barrier function and remain on your skin after rinsing. Ideally, you want to use a moisturizing cleanser that doesn't contain harsh ingredients. Then over-exfoliating your skin. Exfoliation is important for healthy, young-looking skin. It gets rid of dead skin cells, which encourages skin cell turnover regeneration, helps unclog pores, and brightens your complexion. However, in this case, more is not necessarily better. If you exfoliate too often or too harshly, you can actually disrupt your skin barrier. This leads to irritated, red-looking skin and sensitivity, and it could make your skin more likely to react to other products you apply. For most skin types, exfoliating 2 to 3 times a week is ideal. Those with sensitive skin may find that once a week or even less is even better for them. Some signs you're overdoing it include dryness, lots of flaking or peeling, and a burning sensation. For me, I find baking soda. I love baking soda. I even add it to my shampoo. Sometimes I just have baking soda and water because it is a very gentle cleanser. So this is the thing I'm real guilty of, using my cell phone in bed. So computers, cell phones, those kind of things, okay? Here's another example of how not all nighttime skincare mistakes involve your skincare routine. In this instance, using your smartphone or tablet in bed, a common activity, guilty, could be contributing to older looking skin. Tablets, smartphones, and other devices like televisions all emit blue light. Blue light has an energizing effect, which is a good thing when you are naturally exposed to it via sunlight. However, Too much exposure in the evening or at bedtime can disrupt your sleep cycle, and we've already covered how critical sleep is for your skin. Beyond this, blue light itself can penetrate into the deeper layers of your skin, potentially even more so than UV rays. Because of this, it's believed to contribute to skin aging, although researchers still aren't sure to what extent. Regardless, for the sake of both your beauty rest and your complexion, try to avoid using electronic devices 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, or at least install a blue light filter on them. Okay, my question. Our society, what do we do for 2 to 3 hours before we go to bed then? I don't know, because that seems like at the end of the day, that's what you do. Do you play cards or a board game or something like that? I don't know. You have any ideas? Please share. And this one, sleeping on a dirty or drying pillowcase. Forgetting to regularly wash your pillowcase can be a disaster for your complexion. Your pillowcase absorbs oil from your skin and hair every time you sleep on it, as well as dirt and bacteria. And while it mostly only absorbs a small amount at a time, just think how much could build up over the course of a week or more. A dirty pillowcase is particularly detrimental to acne-prone skin, but it's really not great for any skin type in the long run. I never even thought about the pillowcase. Along with cleansing your face before bed to cut down on dirt, bacteria, etc., try to swap out your pillowcase for a clean one every few days. You can make it last a little longer by sleeping on both sides of the pillowcase. Also, consider the material your pillowcase is made of and whether it has a drying effect on your skin. For example, organic cotton is generally a great choice for fabric, but it does wick moisture away from your skin and tends to absorb more oil. If your skin is on the dry side to start with, you might want to consider a different material like bamboo. Using toxic skincare products. There are many cosmetics and skincare products out there that promise some kind of beauty benefit. But when you look closely at the ingredients and their effects, they are anything but beautiful. Excuse me. To put it simply, not being careful about the quality of product ingredients is one of the most common skincare mistakes people make at night and any time of the day. You might think that just because a product has made it to the shelf, it must be safe for you to use, but that's not always the case. In the US, for example, skincare companies are still allowed to use chemicals banned in the European Union and other countries over toxicity concerns. And that I found to be very interesting. I fell for the ruse of buying this particular, and I don't remember the name of it now. It's made in Europe, and you buy it thinking, okay, great, you're getting this non-toxic version. Well, the US can have toxic version. So what does the company do? They have a European version and they have the American version because that's cheaper. So just buyer beware. So let's see, I was talking about the European skincare companies. Chemicals that are carcinogens negatively affect hormones and even ones that irritate your skin. The only way to avoid them is by reading the labels and doing your research before you buy, like I just gave you a little bit of a sample on that. Skipping a moisturizer. Water evaporates from your skin all throughout the day via a process known as transepidermal water loss. In an ideal world, this evaporation would be balanced by your body supplying hydration to your skin, keeping moisture levels even. Unfortunately, this isn't usually how it works. Particularly as you get older, you'll find that your skin has a harder time holding on to moisture. A dry environment or harsh weather, especially in the winter, only makes things worse. And because daytime is when most stressors hit your skin, it usually starts feeling parched towards the end of the day. Not only is dryness uncomfortable, it's also a common way the skin barrier gets damaged. This opens your skin up to toxins and irritation while also potentially making it look older. That's why applying a moisturizer at night is crucial, even if you are using a hydrating, gentle cleanser. While your skin may not feel dry right after you cleanse it, moisture will continue evaporating overnight. To combat this, the right moisturizer will lock in hydration, nourish your skin, and help keep it feeling soft and supple. You can have the best skincare products in the world, but they won't be very effective if you apply them in the wrong order. And surprisingly, this is another one of the common skincare mistakes people make. So how do you layer products correctly? This will depend somewhat on which specific products you're using. However, most of the time you'll want to cleanse your skin first and then apply other products, starting with lighter weight ones and finishing with the heaviest. For example, you could do a quick 4-step routine like this: a gentle cleanser, targeted treatment like an eye cream, a serum, and then the moisturizer. Very important that your moisturizer and any heavy oil-based products go on last. Not only do they lock moisture and other ingredients in, they would also lock any products you applied afterwards out. So missing out on the best antioxidants, you can feed your skin in 2 ways: by the food you eat and by what you apply to it topically. And when it comes to the best nutrients for youthful looking skin, antioxidants are definitely at the top of the list. The most critical work antioxidants do is to protect against free radicals. Free radicals are unstable molecules that can attack cells throughout your body, including skin cells, and contribute in a major way to skin aging. By shielding you from them, antioxidants are able to minimize the effects of free radicals and help keep your skin looking younger for longer. Now, applying natural antioxidants to your skin at night is key because you give them a good 7 to 8 hours, hopefully, to work uninterrupted. But the type of antioxidants you focus on should be different than what you might apply in the morning. For example, astaxanthin is a potent antioxidant that has shown photoprotective properties, meaning it helps protect your skin from UV damage. This makes an ideal daytime skincare ingredient, but perhaps not as crucial for nighttime, though it's still a good option. On the other hand, resveratrol, another powerful antioxidant, is perfect for nighttime application. It can help fight signs of skin aging, but is more sensitive to light than other antioxidants, making it best for overnight use. Now that you know the top skincare mistakes to avoid at night, you can start helping your skin right away to turn back the clock on mistakes you may have been making over the years. So magnesium, I'm always learning about the supplements, and my sister asked me one time, well, what is this that you're using now? You told me to use this. And I said, yes, that was a good product, but this is better because science evolves. So you got to just keep up on it. So now we're going to talk about magnesium. What if we told you that your magnesium supplement might be useless? That would feel like a huge waste of money, wouldn't it? And more importantly, you'd probably feel cheated, thinking you were boosting your body and organs only to find out you're still deficient. If your magnesium supplement cannot cross the blood-brain barrier, it won't be absorbed effectively. This is why millions of Americans take magnesium but show no improvement in their blood tests. The reality is that not all forms of magnesium are equal. Some forms, such as magnesium oxide, are less effective in dealing with deficiencies, yet are highly popular and widely advertised as a reliable solution. On top of that, each form of magnesium has its own unique properties. That's why you need to understand what benefits each ingredient in your formula offers. From stress reduction and muscle relaxation to supporting healthy deep sleep cycles, magnesium L-threonate is easily absorbed into the brain, making it potent for fighting age-related cognitive deficits. Magnesium glycinate is recognized for its high absorbability and calming properties, which may promote relaxation and healthy sleep. Magnesium taurate can help maintain optimal blood pressure levels and can help improving heart health. Magnesium orotate has been shown that it's an important nutrient in the modulation of the microbiome gut-brain axis. Magnesium malate has mood-relaxing properties and is an effective supplement for boosting physiological functions and supporting the nervous system. It's important to take a magnesium supplement that will combat the specific health concerns you want to address. Remember, when looking for a supplement with a particular end goal in mind, the right magnesium can make a night and day difference in your life, resulting in increased sleep quality in the night, more energy during the day, improved mood, and even full body rejuvenation. Over the course of a year of research, it was discovered the most 7 effective forms of magnesium. These mineral forms work together in a perfect synergy to help promote deep, relaxing sleep for effective, nightly rejuvenation. You may be shocked to see how your current supplement compares to the discoveries. All the vital rejuvenation happens during deep sleep, which repairs muscles, strengthens the immune system, and leaves us refreshed in the morning. Digging deeper into the possible causes of sleep deprivation to a profound discovery that we are all deficient in one vital mineral, which we never thought could be problematic. Even more surprising is the fact that the majority of the population may have the same issue. According to a recent study published by the Journal of the American Osteopathic Association, 1 in 2 Americans are deficient in this crucial mineral, which is robbing them of their sleep and energy. Ah, tickle. Magnesium deficiency is a worldwide problem. Until then, I didn't know that magnesium is a cofactor in more than 300 enzyme systems that regulate diverse reactions in the body, including protein synthesis, muscle and nerve function, blood glucose control. Diabetics, did you hear that? Magnesium and blood glucose control, and blood pressure regulation for you on heart medicines. Optimal magnesium levels are essential for improving sleep efficiency and duration while helping encourage better sleep patterns. It's essential for our brain to regulate sleep cycles. It's also necessary for the production of energy. It plays a role in calcium transportation for building healthy bones and is critical for the production of the antioxidant glutathione. Basically, without magnesium, your body is unable to regenerate at night and create optimal sleep cycles. The food we eat these days grows on depleted soils. It contains 50 to 80% less nutrients than just 100 years ago, meaning that even the best dietary choices aren't enough to achieve optimal levels of magnesium required for improved sleep quality and rejuvenation. Certain forms of magnesium, such as magnesium oxide, are less effective in dealing with the deficiencies, almost to the point of being useless. If your magnesium supplement cannot cross the blood-brain barrier, it won't be absorbed effectively, and this is why millions of Americans take magnesium but show no improvement in their blood tests. On top of that, most magnesium supplements are synthetic, making them harder for the body to recognize. That's why you need to understand what benefits each ingredient in your formula offers. From stress reduction and muscle relaxation to supporting healthy deep sleep cycles, chelated form is better absorption, and that's necessary. Okay, so you want, instead of the regular synthetic versions, you want to make sure that your magnesium is chelated form. And vitamin D. Oh, yes. Associated with increased risk of infection, low vitamin D is associated with increased risk of infection among people with diabetes. People had low levels of serum vitamin D had a greater risk of infections compared with those with higher levels in a study that included nearly 20,000 men and women with type 2. People with diabetes have lower vitamin D levels than those without diabetes. People with type 2 also have a 47% increase in the risk of mortality caused by infections compared with the general population. Researchers found that people with diabetes who had serum D levels of less than 10 nanograms per milliliter had a 44% greater risk of total infections compared with levels of 20 to 30 nanogram per milliliter. Low vitamin D levels of less than 10 were associated with 47% higher risk of gastrointestinal infections, a 49% higher risk of pneumonia, and a 41% higher risk of sepsis compared with levels 20 to 30 nanomilligrams. Variations in vitamin D receptor genes were not significantly associated with serum vitamin D concentrations or with the relationship of vitamin D levels to incidence of infections. The current investigation included 19,851 people with type 2. The subjects selected for the study had available genetic data and information concerning serum levels of 25 hydroxyvitamin D. Hospital inpatient and death registers provided information concerning total infections for each participant, as well as the incidence of common infections, including gastrointestinal infections, pneumonia, and sepsis during a median follow-up period of 13.2 years. Infections occurred in 24.7% of the group during follow-up. The findings were that lower serum 25D concentration less than 20 nanograms per milliliter was associated with higher risks of infections in patients with type 2, regardless of genetic variance in vitamin D receptor. The findings highlight the importance of maintaining adequate vitamin D concentrations in reducing the risk of infections in patients with type 2. These findings were reported in the August 2024 issue of the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. So that, my dear listeners, was quite a list of information, yes? So I want to thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope that you learned something new and that you enjoyed it and probably were somewhat confused because it's a lot of information, but you could always listen to it again. So I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a kind, oh man, I can't talk, can I? I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a kind review and share it with a friend, and would really like it if you would subscribe. So before I sign off, I also want to offer you a website, nuts.com it is, and it's dry roasted cashews. I love cashews, and I think they are the best. They have their skins on and they're roasted and they're just so yummy. So I would like to invite you to go to my link there at https:// I guess, share.nuts.com/H, capital H, and then AZELANN. So that's https://share.nuts.com/Hazel-Ann, and buy some of those dry roasted cashews. They're just so yummy. So anyway, this is it for today. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to having another insightful message for you next time. So, toodaloo. Thank you for tuning in to my Common Sense Living podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure you learned something new. Please leave a kind review and share this episode with a friend. And be sure to subscribe yourself. You'll find me on iTunes, Spotify, and other platforms. And don't forget, we'll be here again next week with another insightful episode of Common Sense Living. I can hardly wait.